Hey, it's Evie, welcome to my channel. Today's video is all about living in the end, attachment, whether or not you can manifest with attachment, and yes, you can, so stay tuned if you think that you have to get rid of your attachment 100% because you don't. If you have already read Degrees of Attachment, then I apologise because you would have already heard this, but I just wanted to pass it on to the rest of you guys if you haven't heard it before. If you've been living in the end for a long time and you are trying to do it day in, day out, constantly feeling as if you already have what you have, and you feel like you're feeling happy the majority of the time and positive, but you still haven't manifested and a few months have gone down, you're a few months down the line, then the issue that you will have is that you are living in the end with resistance. Even though it might just be a little bit, you are. And the thing is, you can carry on like that for a really long time. So I'm not here to tell you that you should stop because everybody is different. But I am going to say the majority of people that I talk to, that I have coached, and are my members that have been doing this, have felt such a huge relief when I've told them, you can stop doing that. You do not have to constantly live in the end. And if you haven't manifested, now the chances are you're going to carry on like this, and all that will happen is you'll build more resistance because you'll think, where the hell is it? Where is this person? I've been living in the end. The thing is, Neville did this and he didn't suffer resistance of any kind, and he didn't suffer attachment. He was eccentric, which helped, I think, because I know that this all came from an experience he had when he was being operated on, I believe, like a kind of a near-death experience, out-of-body sort of thing. So he knew that life was not as we think it is, reality is not as we think it is. And the thing is, he just knew, if I pretend that I have this and I go along behaving like I do, then I will get it. There was nothing else there messing up his vibration. He just went, and if you can do that, you will manifest really quickly. This is the thing here. So if you haven't manifested, and a few months have gone by, you're probably not going to do it this way unless you are also letting go as you're doing it. So it's a bit of a tricky one, it really is. Living in the end has never worked for me like that, although I believe that what I do is living in the end really, but short amounts of time, and I do it naturally. I never think about manifesting when I do this. It's just something that I do. So first of all, I'm going to tell you a story about how I manifested twice with attachment. So it happened once, and what had happened was I had a text regarding this issue which led me to the solution that I wanted, and I was attached to this. I knew I was, but when it happened I thought, well, I can't be, otherwise it wouldn't have happened, because I know that you can't manifest with attachment. That was how I felt back then, that you cannot manifest with any attachment. But I convinced myself, well, I clearly wasn't attached. Anyway, a month or so, it might have been 2 months, I can't really remember how long between, it happened again, and I manifested, and it was another text leading to something that I wanted. And what happens with me is I'm rubbish with my phone these days. I really am. So somebody will text me and I won't see it for a few hours because I just don't check my phone very often. I used to have my phone like surgically attached to me, but I don't anymore. And so I didn't see it. And then when I did finally look at my phone, check my messages, there it was. And I was shocked. And I thought, how has this happened? Something, this is messing with my theory and messing with my thoughts on what this is. This is weird. And anyway, I then thought, okay, it hasn't come in now. I counted back to when it came in and I thought, what was I doing at that time? And I knew that I was making my second cup of coffee. I think it was my second cup of coffee of the day, because I allow myself 3 cups of coffee. That's really anal, isn't it? But I got to do that, otherwise I'll just drink coffee all day long. And so I make my coffee special. So I froth the milk, I have a coffee machine, and I have one at work as well. So I do it the same way each time. It's a treat, So that's what I was doing. And I thought, okay, when I make my coffee, I'm really focused on that because I know that I don't have many and I want to make it as nice as I can. And I take care over my coffee, and I'm not slapdash about it. So I thought, okay, it came in then. So I thought about what happened and I thought, right, how attached was I to this particular thing? Or am I, the day that I was thinking about it? And I work in percentage values, and I got this from Richard Dotts, but I cannot remember which book it was that I read of his, where he was sort of measuring things in percentages that he just made it up, and it's just something that he did. And I got on board with that because I thought, oh yeah, I could do that, and I did. fairly quickly I could feel a percentage, and I felt 12%. Okay, I am 12% attached to this issue, or I was, because I manifested it. And I thought, right, so that lower an attachment, so 88% detached I was, so 88% detached. That is probably, so I'm thinking 20% attached is probably going to be enough to manifest. And the reason it is, so when you are going about being attached like you are, it's not going to come then. So what had happened was, I was, in that short space of time, it was gone from me, absolutely gone. I was clear of it. It was like, let's say it had been, there's a hole where the attachment is, and somebody had just pushed it out. So it was completely empty. That hole was available for that manifestation to come through. Think of it like a portal. That portal opened up literally for about 5 minutes, probably not even that, and in came that manifestation in that time. And this is how this happens. And the thing is, you only get periods of time like that when you're significantly detached. And I was working at being detached from that, just accepting that I didn't have it at that time. And I was fairly accepting of it, but not completely. That's when it came in, so I manifested. And those texts, they led on to what I wanted, and that was amazing. So I realised that you do not have to be fully detached, but lessening it to a degree that you do get periods of time like that is when it happens. And the thing is, when you have lessened your attachment to that point, you're also in a much better state inside, so your inner feelings about the whole situation are better anyway. So that was it, and that was key for me. That was what did it. So you can manifest with some attachment. I think I would say, really 20% or below. See if you can do that with the percentage thing. Think about your attachment and think, what percentage am I attached? It's quite fun actually when you realise that you can do it. And sometimes you sort of go between percentages. Oh, is it this or is it that? And you don't quite sort of feel it, but it's roughly about the same. So if you can get an approximate value, it's really useful, especially, if it does work for you that, and you get to say, and you think, oh, I'm about 60%. Well, that's cool, isn't it? Because you're probably 100% to start with. So if you're 60% now, then, the more you work at it, a couple of weeks time, you might do that again and think, oh, I'm just about 50% now. It may not work for everybody, it might just be a thing that me and Richard can do. I don't know, but I'm sure it's not. I'm sure, and you will not know whether that's exactly right, the percentage, but it will feel right. So it's right to you. So it doesn't matter whether, if it's right to you, it's right. So living in the end, okay, the way that I say that I do that is because if I want something, I do not ever actively think I'm going to manifest that, because I've kind of gone past that stage now. So I want something, I naturally want something, I feel it as if I have it, and I do that naturally. I don't kick that in to manifest, I just do it as a matter of how I live now, really. I do it with all kinds of things, small things, big things. It's just something that I do. So I do feel like I have it. So I am kind of living in the end. And then I just go about my business. And if it's something I really, really, really want, and I still get that huge desire for things, then I will maybe do it a few times. But each time I do it, because I've been at this so long now, it's more of a natural process. I don't force it, and I don't think I'm going to do this in order to manifest it. And I think that is why, when you've been at this a long time, and you know what works and you know what doesn't work, it becomes much more of a natural process, and you aren't ever trying. I don't think I've actually actively tried to manifest anything for about 18 months now-ish. I really don't think that I have. And the thing is, I've posted up Harry's channel before. Harrison Ellis is my son, and he does actively try to manifest something, but he kind of decides what he's going to manifest, and then he will just maybe use one technique, and he does like techniques, and then he will just assume that that's worked. And it will work. The biggest thing that I think that Harry has manifested, he may not call it the biggest thing, but for me, is a modelling contract, a short-term modelling contract. I call it short-term because he didn't like it. He thought that that's what he wanted to do. And when he did it, he didn't like the fact that it was in the winter, and he was outside a lot, doing a lot of outside shots, and it was cold. Simple as that. He didn't want to do it anymore. But he manifested that, and he manifested it within a couple of weeks of kind of intending that was going to happen. He didn't have to go looking for it. He didn't apply for anything. He was approached by his Instagram account by a company. It was dead easy for him, and I just looked at him and said, you have got this sussed. You've got this sussed. He's a very laid back person majority of the time. He has his moments, but pretty laid back. I don't know where he gets that laid backness from at that age. I mean, I am much more laid back now. I am fairly laid back now, but I wasn't, I don't think, at his age, and I know my husband wasn't and isn't. So We don't really know where he gets that from, but it allows him to manifest fairly easily. And to be honest, he's kind of somebody that's happy with what he's got and happy with his life, and he's doing really well. He's a freelance video editor and he's 19, and that's what he wants to do at the moment. He's done traveling, he's done so many things, all through just kind of not trying, putting in some action, and that's it, done. And he kind of goes along the same lines as me. If it happens, amazing. If it doesn't, I'm all right, you know. And that's how this has worked for me. I used to get, well, I have to expect it. I have to expect it in order for it to come, because that's what everybody says. That's what all of the experts say. And this is why I found it really difficult to resonate with anybody when I first got into this, because, you know, they tell you to expect, you must expect. Well, it didn't work for me. As soon as I stopped expecting and just hoped, that's when everything happened. I just had the hope vibration, because hope doesn't lead to so much resistance. It doesn't really lead to any resistance, but expectation does lead to resistance. Anyway, that's today's video. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, then I would absolutely love for you to do that. Or have a look at Harry's channel, subscribe to him. He's very new, and his is going to be a lot of technique based stuff because it works for him. So as I said to him when I was trying to get him to do this, just do what you do, talk about what you do and what works for you. Don't talk about anything that you haven't done or you don't do, because then you're not passing on a proper experience, are you? And that's what I do, and that's why I don't talk about techniques really not much, because I've never really used them. So it's not fair for me to say, oh yeah, if you do this, this will happen, because I don't know, because I haven't done it. I know it does work for people, it's worked for Harry, but it's just not for me. I'm not a gimmicky sort, but you know, I get it. I get the fun of that, working with something like that, and Harry loves that. So, and if you don't know anything about me, then check me out. Go to my website, evysparks.co.uk, see what books I've written, who I write for, other platforms that I write for. And yeah, have a look at my members coaching area. That's £5 a month. You get loads of stuff with that, loads of modules, but you also get one-to-one coaching support, so via email. I don't do Skype anymore because I just don't have the time. I used to do one-to-one full-on sort of Skype coaching, and the thing is, with the law of attraction, this stuff, and I see it as the law of creation, it's very subjective and it's not an exact science, is it? So when I have a business as well, and when I do workshops there, or I do sort of Skype consultations, I have no problem with saying this is the price, and it's not cheap. My services aren't cheap, and I have no problem with that. And if they want to pay it, brilliant. And if they don't, that's fine, because I know that what I'm telling them will get them this, because they'll just do what I say, and this is what will happen. But with the law of attraction, and this is why I have very great difficulty charging for my coaching with that, and it's kind of like, I can't do it. I cannot bring myself to charge £50, £100 anymore for Skype coaching, because it is subjective. And I used to do it on like a voluntary basis, so you would have the coaching with me, and if it worked for you or you found that you got a lot out of it, you would just pay whatever. I didn't ask for a price, I just said pay whatever, and that was fine. And people wanted me to charge a price, to be honest, but everybody paid me fairly, everybody. But I was never comfortable with it, so I just had to find another way of doing it, because it's not an exact science, and I can't say to you, if you do this, you are going to get this result, because we're all different and we all have different attachment levels and that kind of thing. So that's why I do it like this, and I help people as much as I can. And some people are having huge success in letting go, getting rid of their attachment, and then other people are having huge success manifesting their specific person, because those are the people that have taken on board my sort of theory that this is magic and it's your reality, nobody else's, so you can have what you damn well like. And they might get moments where they slip and then they have an issue waiting for that person to get back to them, if it's a specific person thing, but we always have a little bit of a chat, and then they get back on the wagon and all is good. But everybody is different, and some people struggle with the attachment thing, so those people are the ones that I help get over the attachment in order to manifest, if it's a specific person that they want, by getting to that point, lessening that attachment to, like me, about 20%, and then manifesting. Anyway, I'll stop waffling on now. Thank you.